In today's movie, Donald Pleasance eats spaghetti at Wendy's. Yeah, that might be the most interesting thing about this one. The bar is low. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're tackling Carlo Vanzina's weird giallo flick, Nothing Underneath. This 1985 release was a big hit in Italy, although I'll be damned if I know why. In fact, it was such a hit it inspired two sequels, with the second coming in 2011. It continues the Italian genre film tradition of lame leading men, but hey, it's got Donald Pleasance, so maybe it'll redeem itself. But enough about that. Can Nothing Underneath chop up enough models to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's video is brought to you by patrons Sickhander, No Moving Parts, and Richard J. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos and free me from the shackles of YouTube's tyranny, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. Seriously, every little bit helps keep the show rolling, and I appreciate the support. And now, let's get bloody. We fade in on this commercial for Hidden Valley Ranch dressing.
Hidden Valley Ranch makes vegetables delectable.
Ah, wait, it's a horse and carriage. Is this Little House on the Prairie? Because I'm out if it is. Whoa, hold the phone. We've got a car. Definitely not Little House, although this dude sorta looks like Almanzo. And now we're gonna take a nice scenic ride through the credits. I love those. Sotto il vestito niente. I thought this was Nothing Underneath. Watch out, you're gonna run over the credits. So far, I know absolutely none of these people. Always a good sign. Hey, Sonia, stay in your lane. Donald Pleasance, finally, someone I know. I guess Italy has a Michael Myers problem too. I mean, Michele Myers. This basically says the movie was based on a book by Marco Parma, although they didn't follow Parma's book at all. Here's Franco Ferrini, who was brought in to punch up the script. Ferrini was hired because he had a working relationship with Dario Argento, and his big contribution was replacing the killer's gun with a pair of scissors. Am I the only one who finds it odd that there were 3 costume designers in a movie called Nothing Underneath? Music by the legendary Pino Donaggio. This is just one of many ties Nothing Underneath has to the works of Brian De Palma. De Palma was a huge influence on this production, as you'll see. Action pose. Only you can prevent forest fires. Directed by Carlo Vanzina. Vanzina took over the production after Michelangelo Antonioni bailed. Hey, we arrived at the movie, and not a moment too soon. Looks like the lodge Christopher George was headquartered at in Grizzly. Oh sweet, mail's here. I bet it's the new issue of Hustler. Damn, it's only the Sears catalog. Oh well, it has a bra section, so I guess it'll work. I mean, seriously, he's like, sorry folks, gotta run. If you need me, I'll be in the bathroom for the next hour or so. Ignore any strange noises you might hear. Look at this dude, he's just fiending to get to that intimate apparel section. Wait a minute, his sister is Susan Powder? Do you kids even remember Susan Powder? Christ, I'm old.
300 calories.
Stop the insanity!
Five Below Brigitte Nielsen auditions for Beverly Hills Cop 2. Maybe they're shooting this for the Sears catalog. That would be pretty meta. I feel like this movie really needed Serena Grande in it. Oh yeah, this is definitely the same tower that bear knocked over in Grizzly. I can't wait for Christopher George to show up. Breaker19, can we get Christopher George to the set? Over. But that's not gonna happen apparently.
Had a little discussion with the grizzly.
Turns out all the caller wants is to see that new Sears catalog.
Mrs. Gordon told us you got some mail. When are you going to let us see it?
And now we're off for disco night down at the Ponderosa. This movie really is all over the place so far.
I'm hot for you. What you gonna do?
Yeah, let's ask Ian Sarah what he thinks about this track.
It stinks.
Man, these guys are really cutting a rug. Or having seizures. I think I go either way on that. Oh, Jesus, it has a rap interlude.
When you're sitting home and you're all alone and you've got nowhere to go.
I feel like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane are probably not losing sleep over this. Hey, what is this? A unisex bathroom? Go do blow in the men's room. Shit, he really is doing blow. It'll clear your sinuses. She needs more foreplay to hook up, but he's not taking no for an answer. While she's wrestling the Eurotrash, her bro is psychically feeling her pain. Ow, my sciatica! By God, he's got the R-bar locked in on Rhea Ripley! Man, my JR still sucks. Back in America, dude's looking at his hand like he's warning it about all the work it's gonna be putting in later when he gets some alone time with that catalog. Don't you even think about cramping up. Yep, she's definitely living up to the title of Nothing Underneath. Back in America, someone's pitched a tent.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. A real tent. Ranger Rick is just looking for a good spot to mark his territory. I'm not sure if this is an Italian slasher Giallo hybrid or an episode of Marty Stouffer's Wild America. One thing I am sure of is this is a bridge too far. I mean, I had a problem with a bridge once, but then I got over it. One thing I'll say about this bridge crossing scene is that it's pretty riveting. Man, I'm out of control today. Halfway across, Bob here gets tipsy. Looks like he's watching a live stream. Say what you will about Bob, but the dude definitely crossed that bridge when he got to it. And he's basically seeing psychic visions of Italy. This is another De Palma tie-in to The Fury. Dario Argento, is that you? Bob, I don't think you're going to be able to run all the way to Italy. Back at base camp, Ranger Bob Seeger is making a call. I hope he turned the page in the phone book. Looks like he called the PTL club. Tammy Faye is working the phones today. Bob shows up and he's like, hey, when is Pleasance getting here? I can't carry this movie by myself. Church establishing shot. Everyone Hail Mary. So wait a minute. Bob had a waking dream about his sister and just randomly flies off to Milan? How much are they paying these park rangers? Discount Peter Scolari prepares to check into the Susan B. Anthony Hotel for Women. Bosom Buddies reference too. I spoil you guys. What is this, a self-service hotel? Does anyone work in this place? Is it just me, or does this dude kinda look like a mulletless MacGyver? God, I sure hope they didn't put him in room 237 or 1408. Oh, this is why the desk clerk is never at the desk. He's a creeper. Smells just like mom's lasagna. Okay, that even grossed me out. Then he heads over to room 303.
Miss Crane, you in there?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Our lead is Bob Crane? Like Bob Crane, star of Hogan's Heroes, a noted perv who was murdered and the crime remains unsolved? What the hell? And now he's Budget Willie Ames. This dude's like a chameleon. Hey, it's Donald Pleasance with some terrible lip foliage. Bob, I must ask you some questions. Answer honestly. Oh God, he's gonna do an Italian accent too.
If I'm not mistaken, Wyoming is a good distance from the Scala Hotel.
It's a me, a Loomis. Honestly, they probably just paid him an expensive wine. Anyway, he's trying to tell Loomis he saw the murderer from Wyoming.
Stuff like this happens between some twins. It's telepathy, a sixth sense.
Lance Henriksen, can we get a ruling on this psychic twin thing?
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
Look at Pleasance. He's like, boy, are you high? Because you sound higher than the peak of Everest. And with that, I can't believe it's not Willie Ames is like, I'm out. Gotta get back before Charles figures out I flew off to Italy without permission. What the hell is Pleasance even doing here? It's like Bowser just stole his girlfriend. Well, let's see if this winds your watch. Looks like a yes. Yeah, time for some jaunty montage music. I'm not gonna lie, these chicks are all better actors than Bob here. Somehow they're actually less stiff than he is. You know what the most terrifying thing about Nothing Underneath is? Somehow this movie made more money than the Goonies at the Italian box office. Rather than look for his missing sister, he's just gonna waste time drawing mustaches and scars on her magazine photos. And now we're over here, shooting an Army of Lovers video. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the same theater they used in Argento's opera. Don't hold me to that, though. These chicks look pretty ferocious. You know, because of the coats. Then everyone heads home. Man, that screening really sucked. With the theater cleared, Willie's gonna interrogate the photographer.
Can you tell me anything?
A model, a body, a beautiful dress, and nothing underneath.
Title mention, everyone drink. Jesus, you can see this dude literally reading his lines right off the cue cards. Building, establishing, shot. Dejected, Willie Ames heads off. Maybe I can still get into Diodato's cut and run. But before that can happen, he's accosted by the lead singer of Swing Out Sister. Maybe they can break out into another movie. After some jibber-jabber, she gets picked up by Captain Coke from the bathroom earlier.
Giorgio Poloni sells jewels and screws models.
That sounds exhausting. Back at the hotel, this model is trying to pick up Willie by insisting he could be a model too.
Not me.
But you could be.
This is stretching my willing suspension of disbelief to the breaking point. And since this isn't going anywhere, we might as well stop and watch Casablanca. Man, I wish I was watching Casablanca instead of this steaming pile right now. Or Magnum. But he's found something even better. The live-action adult cinema channel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that, you pervs. That chick across the hall is really dialing the rotary phone, if you catch my drift. It's like she's reading a really good book in Braille. I can't show you that, but we can totally show you shirtless Bob Crane. Hardly seems fair. Oh yeah, this would look fantastic on me. Then this happens.
Mr. Always in the Mood doesn't like butts interruptus.
Butts interruptus. I got nothing. Swing Out sister misses her cab, so she's walking home alone. I'm sure this is fine. I mean, maybe something will finally happen in this friggin' movie. She gets the hint because she's calling the director and telling him, yeah, I could totally die here. I'm not really integral to the plot. Without a non-starter, she's sprinting away, and props to her for running on pavement in heels. And then we get an upskirt shot, and since this is nothing underneath, I can't show that. Somehow she makes it back to the hotel just in time for a bath. Great, more nudity for Jay to avoid in the edit. But before she lets Calgon take her away, she has her meal. 1 glass of lime juice. She must be bulking. That's a lot of calories for a model. And she still hasn't made it to the bath because she had to check for monsters under the bed first. I sure hope this doesn't turn into one of those P-Hub videos where your hot stepmom gets stuck under the bed. I've heard about those. Oh god, I knew it! Turns out this is a fake out, and thank God because PruTube gives me enough grief without that. 3, 2, 1, contact! Just add your own Christ I'm old joke there if you get that one. Bad news for her is apparently Dario Argento snuck into her room and is ready for some scissoring.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. I mean, he's killing her with scissors. The killer's all like, cheers to you, but the kill is totally off screen. Boo. Oh, look, she's wearing nothing underneath that sheet. Hey, who the hell is this chick? Should we really be introducing new characters halfway through the movie? I mean, shit, Donald Pleasance had about 90 seconds of screen time. Can't we go back to him? Speaking of the Donald, he's back. And he's brought his terrible accent with him.
I've been doing some research into telepathic phenomena.
Well, clearly it wasn't research on how to perform a proper Italian accent. Oh, holy shit. They're at Wendy's. They still had the salad bar. Anyway, he's finally coming around on the psychic twins thing. Which makes sense since he'd already met Jennifer Connelly, who could psychically speak to insects in Phenomena.
They call it empathetic.
Sure, whatever. I don't need a lecture on it. I still think it's BS. Jesus, Wendy's spaghetti with no sauce. That's a crime against humanity right there. Bob's still just blabbing away about psychic shit. Pleasance is like, sir, this is a Wendy's. Donald really should win an award just for the facial expressions as he listens to the bullshit dialogue in this movie. But hey, at least Bob's asking the important questions.
So, you think he's clean?
Look, I don't really keep up on his bathing habits. From there, it's time to hit the gym. God, not a squat rack or deadlift platform in sight. Must be Planet Fitness. Come on, ladies, slow down and work on that mind-muscle connection. Oh, good, Bob's here. Let me show you how it's done, ladies. I benched 135 senior year.
Oh boy, I tell you, I could do the workout myself.
Yeah, you sure could, Noodle Arms. This is a dude who always skips leg day. Oh, good. We're going to stop the entire movie to watch these two dullards struggle through some exposition. Donald Pleasance is down at the computer lab. That monitor is probably heavier than anything in the gym we were just at. I'm sure Donald was just here clicking suspicious links and sending malware to everyone on his contacts list. Where's the goddamn delete button on this thing? What's this? There's been a murder in Haddonfield. I'm riding the information superhighway. Whee! Not gonna lie, early Facebook was kinda drab looking. Back at the Hotel Scala, our new mystery character is back. Really kinda shocked they didn't get Jaretta for this role. Back over with Bob, we learn that this is not the sound of doves crying. Pleasance is on the trail, but why would they bring Bob along? Nothing in this movie makes a lick of sense so far. But hey, at least things are finally escalating. We've got to find Laurie Strode before Michael does. Bob's running through this station. You could almost call it training. And now it's time for another great moment in horror film acting.
Hi, what are you doing here?
We all have to be somewhere.
Performance is so wooden, the redwoods are jealous. Yeah, sure, let's stop for a fashion show. I mean, please, movie, take your time getting to anything good. Jesus, we're really gonna watch an entire fashion show in the middle of this movie. Anyway, Pleasance is clearly not impressed by this year's designs. That cow cloak was hideous. What were they thinking? Margot flees back to her trailer, but look out. She's not alone. And she's about to get cut out of this movie. Too bad for the killer that the police are at the door. Guess they'll have to cut and run. These guys are clearly working on their deadlift. Margot may be dead, but that's not going to stop Bob from hooking up. This doesn't seem like model behavior. I'll say this much. At least I don't have to listen to them try to recite dialogue here, and that feels like a win. She's gonna part her curtains for him.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. The actual curtains, you pervs.
We're being watched.
Well, yeah, you're in a movie. This isn't going to turn into one of those weird, prudy film Twitter debates about consent and sex scenes in movies, is it? Back at HQ, Pleasance has the diamonds, and I feel like these are one giant MacGuffin. Over at the hotel, Bob gets a telegramma. That's basically an Italian tattletale. Bobby, if you don't stop touching me, I'm going to telegramma you're a-teasing me. The bad news here is he did not win Ed McMahon's money. But things are looking up. He's going to be a guest on Donald Pleasance's new podcast. The show is called General Unpleasantness. They're interrogating the creepy bathroom coke guy from earlier, which leads to a flashback. Thanks for putting it in black and white. I'd have never known otherwise. Man, this looks like it's about to turn into one of those Keith Raniere Nexium DOS parties. Then things get really weird when he decides to turn this into the end of the Deer Hunter. Things seem to be going well, until the third girl takes her turn. This is bad news for Casanova, but he's gonna buy the survivor's silence.
So I decided to shut them up with diamonds.
I gotta say, I'm disappointed that we're over an hour into this movie and Pleasance hasn't had a Loomis-style freakout yet. Hey, it just occurred to me, this doof's name is Bob. Is this supposed to be grown-up Giovanni Frezza from House by the Cemetery? That would make this way more interesting if it was. And in a big twist, turns out the telegramma is from his missing sister.
Am alive. Please go home.
This scene filmed in Tarantino vision. Hey Bob, we've got new script pages. Convinced the note is real, Bob's checking out. I wish I could check out of this movie right about now.
Thing is, I'm starting to miss my bears.
Oh, so that's why he couldn't hook up with the model. He's into bears. Hold up, is Donald Pleasance in the Cobra's headquarters from Puma Man? Bring me the Pumaman. Looks like Buddy Lembeck here is leaving the movie too. It's a good choice, honestly. Oh man, I knew that Wendy's chili was a bad idea. Discount Luigi Montefiore is like, hey, don't deliver your food baby in my cab. Kicked out of the cab, Bob soldiers on in search of a clean public restroom. Come on, I just need a good porta potty. Inside, we find this. Could this be our killer's lair? Please, I just need a toilet so I can deploy the USS Brownfish. You know you really have to go when you're ready to rope climb to a restroom. Must keep butt cheeks clenched. Finally. After delivering the freight, he finds some notes. Pretty sure this says all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy in Italian. Oh hey, here's his sister. Does this mean we can end the movie now? Please? She's looking great. She's clearly ready for some new modeling dead shots. Their unhappy reunion is cut short when the killer returns. It's his almost girlfriend. And what's the reason for this? She was in love with Jessica.
I couldn't help it. It was like kissing your lips, my love.
Bob's like, I don't know if I'm angry or turned on right now. The big takeaway here is Jessica and Barbara had a relationship, and when Jessica ended it, Barbara killed her and framed the diamond guy. And it looks like someone's about to get drilled.
Hell yeah.
Now, with this power tool, this is another De Palma nod. Looks like she's doing a bit. Literally. And Bob's such a wimp that he's gonna run from an 80-pound model. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Damn it, thwarted by my lack of an extension cord again. I will say for a climax with a drill, this is all pretty boring. Jesus, Bob's such a wimp, the cops have to save him. What is it with these Italian genre films and the wimpy male leads? Jesus. Now it's time for a slow motion climax.
Hell yeah.
No, not that kind of climax. The end of the movie. Not gonna lie, this is a smart way to pad your runtime. I regret nothing! And what the hell? Credits? No last line from Donald Pleasance? Nothing from Bob? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm just glad it's over. But I feel like the movie just gave up. So, what have we learned from Nothing Underneath? A whole lot. For starters, Italians have dubious film taste. This turd beat a bunch of big American movies at the box office. Don't ask me why. Second, that Donald Pleasance was well into his I'll do anything for a paycheck phase at this point. They could have just used a photo stand-in for him and I'd have never noticed the difference. But enough about that. Can Nothing Underneath muster up enough dead models to fill 5 barf bags with splatter? What do you think? Let's go to the gore card! In terms of gross anatomy, Nothing Underneath comes up short. We're treated to some bloody scissors, one arm impalement, and a chick jumping out of a window, and that's it. This one's a real dud in the blood and guts department, and therefore gets a very disappointing 1 barf bag rating. And believe me, that's a generous bag. This is definitely not a sick or even good flick. Looking for a better giallo about a killer offing models? Then be sure to check out my review of Strip Nude for Your Killer. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.